today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome back to another episode of Shop Talk. Today we're discussing 805 of the Rookie, which featured the much awaited return of Aaron Thorsen, aka True Valentino. So that was super fun to have him back. We will jump right into our recap after we mention next week's episode description in case you missed it.
Yeah, so 806 is titled Burn for Love. And it's Valentine's Day, and the team is on the hunt for someone who is setting more than hearts on fire. Meanwhile, Selena thinks Miles's recent string of bad luck is the result of a curse, and she's determined to break it. And of course, we saw the promo for it.
Mhm.
We didn't really see recent string of bad luck. Instead, we saw a Wesley moment, which I don't like that. I
No.
like that we're having a Wesley moment, but I don't like what comes with it.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, the whole Chadford of it all, everyone's thinking
yeah,
there's a little tiny box somewhere
yeah,
in their house for Lucy.
yeah. Do you think there is?
I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be like cute, but it would have been cuter if they hadn't broken up before
Yeah,
and then just recently gotten back together. Um, but I mean, yes, would I want that eventually? Yeah, sure. But like, I was not really expecting it now.
yeah. I kind of feel like it's too soon for it to be now. Like
Yeah.
they just got back together, like 6 episodes ago. Let them have a minute. But I mean, yeah, like it's gonna happen at some point. Like we know that they're end game, but I'm like, we don't need it yet. Give it to us like end of season maybe. Also, I don't think I really want it tied to Valentine's Day. Like I want it to be their own moment and episode,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and like
So
they made it seem like since like Lucy was like she like was worried that she lost the gift for Tim. So it's
yeah,
not like she's looking, you know, being one of those like girlfriends that like, is expecting a ring
yeah,
and like goes to search for it. So
yeah.
um I don't know if maybe the promo is just misleading
Mm-hmm. Or
or
everyone's just clowning,
yeah.
which
I mean,
could be
understandably,
possible.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And it looks like we continue with Wesley's like campaign. Like maybe we have a party or like a campaign event or something like next week because that guy with the knife or whatever. I couldn't catch what he was
Yeah.
saying in the promo, if it was lawyer or something else, but I love how
I think he
Selena
was
was
saying
like on top of it.
liar, I thought.
Yeah, it was like
Maybe I'm
liar or
wrong.
lawyer. I don't know.
I don't,
Maybe
well, either
it
way,
could be
the
lawyer.
guy's obviously upset.
Yeah. But I loved how Selena was like on top of it. Presumably everyone else is there because I'm like,
I would
okay,
think so.
why is it just Selena? But it could also be the promo, like, throwing us off and be something related to Miles. I don't know. But yeah. Do you want to take it away with the whole criminal network of it all?
Yeah, so we had obviously Aaron arrive. Um he pulls up in his cool blue Lambo and he hugs Selena and Lucy and like, says hi to Tim and meets Miles for the first time, which is cool. And
It's
we find
everything
out,
that we wanted.
right, it
Everything that
was
we
so
wanted.
good. We find out that he sent Lucy flowers for passing her sergeant's exam and, and scoring higher than Tim. Um, which Tim then said made him look bad since he bought out half the chorus. So, um, and Lucy like thanked him for the flowers, and um, Tim had remarked earlier that he's like he's has lots of money, but he's actually like a half decent cop. And so that was pretty like a as close to a full compliment as Tim would give out to Aaron. So that was pretty fun. Um, and apparently Aaron was also filled in about Miles at some point because he like starts with, and you must be Texas. So like that's good because he like was kept in the loop with everyone,
Yeah.
obviously just off screen. But um yeah, it
Which
was
it's
cool to see
definitely
that.
Selena keeping him in the loop, right?
I
Has
would
to
think
be.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed that we didn't actually like see their full hug. I mean, we saw like Lisette walking over to True, so it's like
Hmm.
implied that they hugged, but like We didn't actually see it.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed out.
I'm bummed that we didn't get to see more with them together, like the four of them together.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll be back in another episode where we can or something. But yeah, kind of
Hmm.
bummed about that. But it was good. It was good.
Yeah. And so everyone's like, why are you here? And apparently he's there because Gray thinks he can help on the Monica task force. Um, you know, mostly because of his cop skills, or as Tim puts it, because he's running the same circles as known criminals. And Aaron's just like, oh, maybe it's both, and then like laughs and walks away. So that
Mhm.
was classic Aaron, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, and like even when he first sees Gray, like in the next scene that we see him in, he's like, "What'd he do?" or something, and he's like, like trying to be cool, and like he's like, "Hello, sir," like, "Hello, Lieutenant."
Yeah.
Um, and so he, is trying to be just cool with everybody, and it's like not flying with most of them. But I just thought it was like funny because like we saw his personality some like when he was there as a
Hmm.
series regular, but just I don't know, it was just like extra in this
Yeah.
episode, which I didn't mind at all.
Yeah.
Um, and so we see him meet up with Gray, Garza, and Elena from Feds. And so basically, what they want him to do is go undercover to see his former cellmate, Kadir. And Aaron is supposed to warn him about the FBI intercepting his operations in New York. And apparently, Garza really did have to blow an FBI operation to make that happen. Um, and the whole point of that is that when Aaron warns him, the hope is that they can track the frequencies that these special phones use. They're like these $1 million phones, as Elena called them. Um, and that's how the top 1% of criminals are communicating is on this network. And so they want to be able to start tracking in some way, shape, or form the phones. Um, and so Aaron goes to warn Kadir about this FBI op, and they wait for him to make a call using the phone. Which I mean, apparently he does because they soon get the signal back, and Elena's managed to track it down. Not like within um, like an exact like pinpoint match or anything.
Hmm.
But it's the screen is blinking up at them, and Garza's like, yeah, there's no way that that's in the LA River. Like they can't have their whole base of operations in the river.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't really know like what made Garza like turn to Nolan and ask for help. I mean, I know that he has like construction background and stuff.
I
Um,
actually forgot about that. Like I forgot that he was in construction before.
yeah.
I was
Um,
like, oh yeah, that's right.
yeah. And I mean, I guess because I know like Tim earlier had like, called everyone, like the rest of them, like into the meeting or whatever.
Hmm.
So like, and I know Nolan was like sitting right there, but just I don't know. It was just like, why not someone else? I don't know
Yeah.
because I didn't know that that's where it was going, leading into a construction question.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so obviously the LA River is not like correct, and so they need help identifying what it is. So Garza looks to Nolan, and John said that they're running the criminal enterprise through tunnels, probably using a warehouse that was already used for construction projects, so they wouldn't draw attention to it. And sure enough, his guess was right on the money, and they end up surveying a warehouse with extra security presence that's too much for like a regular building, but it is just right for a criminal organization. Um, and so we then see John, Aaron, Elena, and an officer from Garza's team named Mike gear up and get ready to go into the warehouse because Garza wants them to infiltrate the building to plant this malware on their servers so they can indefinitely track the phones. And they've cut the security cameras and the power grid transformers. So that John's team can go in and get it done because he's like the leader of the first team. Um, and so while they're inside, however, they overhear a couple of guys say that the building is going to be nuked after the upload is completed and it'll get hot in there, basically like explode in some way.
Hmm.
Um, and so we then see they call over their comms to Garza and he tells them to stick with the plan. Um, and they get down to the server room. Elena gets the malware on. They hit another snag though when the power comes back on and they can't stay hidden away from the cameras. And they've got criminals supposedly entering the warehouse. And so John figures that there's got to be a place for all the hot air to be vented out, like by cold air, and they discover a giant fan. So they end up breaking it down to get through and to a ladder to like climb up to get out successfully without them being exposed. Um, it kind of works, but not really because the criminals end up setting off, whatever like explosive device anyway in the vent.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, John manages to help shield Mike and I think it was a woman that he was carrying from the server room that like they had to
Yeah.
take out earlier to get to the servers. Um, and so like when they get up there, it's a full blown shootout now, basically, since I think it was Nolan that called Tim. Someone called Tim to let him know that
Hmm.
his team needed to go in. And they had gone in earlier. So like the people inside the warehouse are firing, all the teams are firing. And Nolan tells Aaron to help get Mike and Elena out, and he'll like hold them off as long as possible. Um, he is successful for a few seconds, but it's not long before he's tackled to the ground. Thankfully, Garza saves the day and like shoots the criminal to kind of like get him off of Nolan. And um, we then see that everyone's at the hospital all banged up and bruised and whatnot, except for Tim, who's just chilling.
Yeah.
So I just kind of thought that was funny because like we saw him go in. Like,
Yeah.
how did he not get all messed up?
Yeah.
But anyway,
That was
um,
that was a good scene because like all them getting up and everything, it was just so
yeah,
funny.
yeah, and Aaron like providing cover so that John could get
Uh-huh.
up and not like be embarrassed or something because he's
Yeah.
old and
Yeah.
his body is like broken or something. I don't know. That's what he made
Yeah.
it sound like. He was like, this is going to be like unbecoming of law enforcement. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, just get up off the chair. Like,
Yeah.
why is
Yeah.
he so dramatic about it?
Well, I
Um,
felt like they all kind of were. I mean, not that like it was just an easy operation, but I was kind of like, okay, yeah. I mean, they weren't like all shot or anything. They were beat up and like went through hell, but I don't
right.
know. It was just it was a funny, like comedic moment in
Yeah.
that like end part of the episode. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. John
I
was
mean,
being a
maybe it's
little
because of their
dramatic.
fight earlier that they had with like the
Yeah.
bikers, which you'll get to.
Yeah.
Maybe they're still reeling from that. I don't know.
But even then, it was
Um,
only Tim and Angela and Nyla there, and I guess Miles. But
I mean, John was there, yeah.
oh
Um,
yeah, duh.
but like, uh, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know, not like every single person there, but just I don't know. Maybe that like affected him more.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, last little bit is that Mike had gotten shot in the gunfight earlier, but he's expected to make it according to the doctor, so that's good. Um, and like you said, he was really the only one that got like
Hmm.
significantly injured.
Yeah.
Um, so everyone else was okay, albeit
Yeah.
bruised
Which,
and stuff.
I mean, I'm not glad that someone got like injured, but I'm glad that it wasn't one of the core,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, and I
if
think
it,
because oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say if it had to be someone, like, glad it wasn't one of our main like people.
Yeah, yeah. When I think like that, like I'm assuming was supposed to kind of solidify like John's decision to like stay in um LA,
Hmm.
like because Mike was like, oh, I had this injury or something from his former career, and Garza gave him a spot on the task force and whatnot, and then he was like helping like to carry that person out and stuff, and it's like okay, like I feel like he was trying to do a lot too. And I think John probably saw that as like, oh, is that really me? Or will
Yeah.
that become me? I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like John just like the reality like kind of hit him in the face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that.
yeah.
Um, so then next we have the officer involved shooting. And I don't know, I felt like this storyline was just kind of like it didn't need to be in this episode. Like there was already so much else going on that
Yeah.
it was like, okay, why are we doing that? So Lucy and Selena are driving, and Lucy asks how it's going with Raj. And Selena's like, it's good, but long distance is challenging, and his European tour ends next month. I don't know about you, but I thought it was really odd that like it was brought up this episode.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know like what I was expecting. I guess maybe because like since we saw, well, briefly
Hmm.
saw Raj in the last episode, like from the, yurt or whatever, like
Yeah.
that maybe like Lucy is just asking because she's not living with her anymore. So it's like
Yeah.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
But
That's what I thought too, but I was like, interesting that Selena's saying that when two potential love interests are
yeah.
also like right there. I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm definitely spiraling, but I was like, okay, that was just kind of like a throwaway line in the episode. Like, and then we see the promo for next week and we see her with the TID guy, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing with her?
Yeah.
Like,
Which
is
I
she
didn't
just,
catch. So good catch
yeah.
because I didn't see it.
Um, so Lucy and Selena, along with John and Miles, roll up to a scene and find the sheriff's car there with no sign of the occupants, and the door is left open, which is odd. And so they enter the building when they also see that door open. And so, there's bullets on the wall, blood is splattered. They find two officers down. They say the shooter ran off, and they ended up describing Arroyo. So the shooting victims are brought into the hospital. Nyla and Angela meet up with John and Miles to find out what happened, and they mention Arroyo, and the shooting came out of the blue. So Nyla's like, reach out to the gang unit, make sure that we have the correct current address for him, so that we can get him off the street ASAP. So Lucy and Selena are back at the warehouse with TID, who are investigating the scene. And, Lucy's like kind of honed in on everything there and like also zoned out in a way. So she's looking at the bullets in the wall. She starts analyzing the scene again. The car, why is it parked like that for a friendly meet? The open door is more troubling. The building entry, they went in the same way that Lucy, Selena, John, and Miles did, but then split up. And why? Because it wasn't a hostile environment. Selena points out a theory that like maybe the TO was using this as like a way to train his rookie better. And so Lucy goes with them, like splitting up for legitimate safety reasons. And then kind of puts into perspective the theory of the suspect coming in and opening fire. But then they look at the blood splatter again, and it would appear as if she was shot by her training officer, Coleman, White, that is. So Lucy's not sure if they're lying yet because she could have just made wrong assumptions based off the limited statements that they received. They didn't use body cam footage. So Lucy asks the TID tech, who's a little like annoyed at the beginning,
Yeah.
I guess is the right word. And then he sees Lucy and Selena and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay. Like, sorry about that." And so Selena steps in and, flirts with him a little bit, giving him her phone number and everything, and is like, "If you could rush this, that'd be greatly appreciated." And then Lucy's like, "I will never underestimate your innocence again." Like, I was like, yep,
Mhm.
don't underestimate Selena here. She will get the job done.
Yeah.
Which I loved Selena kind of being Lucy's like little assistant in that
Mhm.
moment. It was fun.
Yeah.
So Angela, Nyla, John, and Miles are all going to find Arroyo, and he's visiting his mom's grave every Wednesday. So Angela and Nyla are quote unquote paying their respects because they're just standing at another grave when he pulls up, and Miles is like, why would he visit his mom the same day he shoots two cops? And also wonders why they don't have a SWAT team there. And like, you gotta appreciate Miles like doing some critical thinking there. And Nolan's like, have you ever tried to hide a SWAT team in a cemetery? Like, it's virtually impossible. And then Angela's like, and we take care of our own business. Like, we don't need SWAT here, which, if anyone was going to say that, it was going to be Angela Lopez. So the suspect's kneeling down, paying his respects when Nyla and Angela like walk up behind him. Tim also comes and, the suspect seems confused about what they're talking about. And then his backup arrives. And so Tim calls for more backup because, they need all hands on deck. And so the team decides that they're just going to brawl in this cemetery right now.
Yep.
So it's Arroyo. How am I saying this name? Arroyo and his guys versus the LAPD. John and Miles then chase him, and John ends up taking him down, giving Miles the handcuffs to put on as he catches his breath in quite possibly the most, like, I don't know, old man way. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
but it's true. Like,
I mean, honestly, that was like a gif if I've ever seen one. It's just like him just
yeah,
like starting to like lose his breath and like not be with it anymore.
yeah. Like, I get it. It was a lot. It was a lot of running, but he was,
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it was dramatic the way that he was like trying to catch it, but he was just like going all in. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put my hands on my knees, like bend down. Like, I
Yeah.
really like gotta lean into it.
Well, it
So
like
yeah.
reminded me of the pilot episode when like Lucy bypassed him when they
Yeah.
were chasing the whatever sus the unicorn guy
Yeah.
in the on the streets of Los Angeles, and she just like was like too slow.
Yep.
And so I feel like it was kind of, I don't know if it's supposed to be a callback to that or just the fact of, oh, they're mentioning his age again and how
Yeah.
that's apparently giving him problems now.
Yeah. Yeah, because I noticed that with Miles like running too. That and then there was another scene this season like that too, where it was like, okay, here we go. Miles is outrunning Nolan again, which like
Mm-hmm.
I think it is becoming like a running storyline like on the side. Like we're going back to his age. Like he's been an officer now for 5 years and like his age is kind of catching up with them. So I don't know. It was just odd because I'm like, this isn't the first time this season that we've kind of hinted at that. Like where are we going from here with that? So Angela and Nyla are questioning the suspect on his whereabouts. And he's like, I wasn't there. And, I was bumping uglies and like having cereal. And I was just like, I mean, he was pretty descriptive with it, but okay, like I get it. You have to be descriptive with that. And Coleman and White, the officers who were shot, are lying, is what he says. So he's like, it wasn't me. I haven't seen Coleman in a minute, but it doesn't surprise me that, he's trying to pin this on me. And he says that this had to be a cover up because Coleman got into some bad business and probably with his rookie. And Selena and Lucy then walk up to Angela and Nyla and tell him that, he didn't ambush Coleman and White. And the TID guy is also there. And he's like, yeah, we don't exactly know that, but the facts are in line with Selena's statement and nothing supports their stories. So, they talk about the shell casings and like everything checks out with evidence. And they conclude that White and Coleman are lying. So when White gets into recovery, her bed is placed alongside Coleman, like next to it. And she asks about her TO. They end up arguing in the same room. We find out that he shot her first, twice actually. And he says that, wait, no, she shot him twice, didn't she? I think I just typed that out wrong.
No,
And
I think he shot her twice, but I think, or did he shoot first? Oh God.
no, I
Oh,
think
I
he
can't
shot
remember
her
now.
because then she was like, it's not my fault that you have bad aim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he shot her first. twice actually. And then he says that she tried to kill him. So they're just like going back and forth. And he's like, I can't have you telling my wife about this, about us either, which, so he's not a nice guy.
Right.
We love Keegan Allen, but we don't like Ian Coleman. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Angela and Nyla come in to talk to White, who asks if they got the suspect, and Coleman starts asking where White is. Like he's like playing this up of like, oh, I just woke up. Like, where is she? Where is my
Yeah,
rookie?
I know the both of them were like ridiculous. I was like, what are
Yeah.
you guys doing?
Yeah. I'm like, you guys, this is like bad acting right now. Like as like not the actors themselves, but like the
Right.
characters, you know?
Yeah.
So Nyla doesn't buy into it. She's like, let's just cut to the chase here. And she asks who wants to make the deal, and White's like, I will. I want to go first. Um, and Coleman just like argues again. I'm like, okay, again, why did we have this storyline in this episode? I feel like it could have been fleshed out more, or we could have just scrapped the storyline. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just kind of too much to me.
I mean,
With
because I know
everything
like
else.
people do that, like shoot their,
Yeah.
whoever they're cheating with or, whoever. But it's like honestly, usually like their spouse finds out and then goes and shoots
Mhm.
them. Or like, I don't know. I just thought it was like going somewhere else.
Yeah. Well,
Like I
and
literally didn't think it was just an affair cover up.
yeah, and we kind of had the whole storyline last episode where it was like the open marriage and stuff. I was like,
Mm,
okay. Like it wasn't the same, but it almost kind of was. And I was like, we didn't
mm,
really need it again this episode, but that's fine.
yeah.
So, yeah, but that was it for the officer shooting. I was like, all
Mhm.
right, here we go.
Yeah. So for Balin, they had a little bit. They actually started off the episode pretty much, and we saw Bailey complimenting John while he's working out, and he knows it's because she wants something. And so she asks him to investigate the possibilities of FBI jobs for his range. It's like, goodness gracious, he already like checked into DCPD for her,
Hmm.
like just regular policing. And now she's like, just kidding. Okay, check for FBI jobs now. And it's like, I get that she's still keen on DC and like John says he'll do what he can, but like,
Yeah.
goodness, like she like I don't know, it's just like one more hoop for him to like
Yeah.
jump through. Um,
I do appreciate that she's like kind of helping him out or like wanting to help him out of like, well,
yeah,
have you thought about FBI? Have you thought about DCPD? Like, she's not just like, oh, well, I want to go. Like, you'll just have to figure it out. Like, she's
that's
trying to
true.
help him a little bit, but
Yeah,
it's coming across as like, I don't know,
too
it's just
much.
too pushy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too pushy. Like, I
yeah,
get it that this is something she really wants, but at the same time, you know what? He's obviously not showing interest. Like you kind of have to lay off of it a little bit. So,
yeah. Because we see him get a couple of texts from Bailey later in the episode. He doesn't end up like responding to them. Because then she calls him just as he's about to go in for the warehouse operation and asks if he got a chance to ask about the job or look at the apartment link she sent. And no, he hadn't because it had been a crazy day. He does end up asking Garza about what an FBI job could look like for him. And Garza says that the cutoff age is 35, no matter the agency. And the chances of getting DC placement straight out of Quantico are impossible. Which I was not the only person that posed this question, but like, then what the heck was the rookie feds even about? Because Simone
yeah.
did not have former government experience.
Did they ever say how
Um,
old Simone was? Not that like that mattered,
no,
but
but I mean, listen, I love Niecy Nash, but she's not passing for 35. I'm sorry.
no, no.
Like, I
That's why I was
refuse.
wondering.
I was like, Britt's character of Laura Stenson could maybe pass as 35, and that's because I mean Britt is like, in her 30s. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. It was just so random. Like, I thought
yeah.
Simone was supposed to be like more like John's age or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it was kind of played and like portrayed.
Yeah.
I saw someone respond to the tweet that you had like responded to,
Oh,
and
really? I didn't catch that.
they were like, well, didn't she go and then wasn't she like in the academy or whatever and then stopped to have kids and then like went back?
Oh, was that it? I
I
guess
don't
it, I
remember,
think
and
so.
Feds is
Well,
nowhere to
no,
be
it was
found,
something.
so
She stopped something, like had kids and then went back. I
or
guess
like
it would have
stopped
had to
to
have
be a
been,
teacher or something
yeah.
or a
Well, yeah,
counselor.
she was a counselor, guidance counselor. I remember
Mhm.
that. So I was like, maybe that is it though. She like stopped, got a normal job, like to, so she could like have kids and be with her family and then
Yeah.
got
I
back
don't know
into
though,
it.
because like,
It was just like so random. I was like, do they not realize like that they had a whole show based on this older person like joining
yeah.
the FBI? I don't
And
know. It's just
literally
weird.
Garza's in the episode telling him
Right.
that. Like it's not like
Yeah.
it's just some other random FBI guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would I do wonder though, like wouldn't it bode well for John that he has law enforcement experience and he can just like get
You would
promoted to
think.
the FBI though?
Yeah, especially since he's worked with them before in
Yeah.
all these crossover things, if that counts
Like
in the
couldn't
show.
Garza like give him a recommendation and be like, yeah, I
Exactly.
support him being in the FBI?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see like if he's, 45 and wanting to go into the FBI and like the cutoff age is 35, sure, but like he's already a cop. So,
I just feel like maybe, I don't know, can he like just join the task force permanently? Although they don't, they're obviously still meeting in LA, so
yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. It was weird. I was like, okay, I didn't think about the whole cutoff age and feds until I saw your tweet. And I was
Well,
like,
it's just
oh
me,
yeah.
because I always miss rookie feds, so I'm
Hmm.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Which I mean, we all know the timeline in the rookie is just bonkers because they say that it's been 5 years since John joined the force. Okay, so we've
Right.
had Jackson and Lucy both also go through the FTO program. We've also had Aaron and Selena. So they're right there is five when you count John. And now Miles, and then at one point Seth. I'm like, we've had so many rookies, which I guess they're in a 9 month period, right? Or 10 months or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, okay, that's a lot of rookies. And
Mhm.
5 years, I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in 5 years. Like, seven different
Mhm.
criminals I feel like have come in and gone. So yeah, I don't know. I
Mhm.
was like, all right, this is the rookie timeline. It's just all out of sorts. So
Yeah. But anyway, so at the towards the end of the episode, that like what he talked about with Garza leads John to tell Bailey that there's no way he can move to DC. And she reminds him about her job and like he knows, but he doesn't want to tear his life up to do it. And he wonders why she has to be on the move all the time, why she's not content sitting still. And she didn't know that it was like an issue for him. She didn't know he was so mad, and she doesn't understand why he's blowing up their plans like this. Um, he said that he's trying to save their marriage, but Bailey didn't even realize that it was in jeopardy. So, and she like storms out of their room, and that's where we leave them. So that'll be interesting for their Valentine's Day next week.
yeah. Um, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but I feel a lot of things about this, I think, because they're not listening to each other. Like she wants what she wants, which is fair, and so does he. But like there's nothing about this that they couldn't just solve by
Yeah,
her taking the job and going back and forth, and same with him. Like
right.
at this point, we've exhausted the option of him doing the FBI. We've exhausted the option of him transferring to another, city and like starting over. Um, Like, why not? Why not? When do they come to that realization and they're like, wait a minute, this can work if we just like put some effort towards it, talk, communicate, like, I don't know. It seems like it's gonna go very badly. But we've seen
Yeah,
Jenna still on set, so
right.
she doesn't like just leave. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's gonna be a very tension heavy season, I feel like.
Yeah. Because like I thought the whole time it was like setting up, oh, okay, it's solidified that they're gonna, like split up in terms of Bailey is gonna end up going to DC and John will just stay there.
Hmm.
Um, but like no, that ended up that he's like putting a giant X over the
Yeah,
possibility of moving to DC.
yeah.
So
And like he wasn't wrong about like calling out, the part of her like always having something and like not being able to just like sit still.
mhm.
Um like I get that because we've kind of ragged on that before and
Mhm.
I mean that's a fair thought, but at the same time like she has full autonomy to sit there and say I don't want to do this or I do want to do this. Like
Right.
you shouldn't be like shitting on that. Like just let her make that decision. Yeah, I don't know. He was wrong in the way that he like was saying that. Like he just was cut and dry. Like this is not happening. That's it. I'm putting my foot down. But at the same time, like I'm glad that he called her out because yeah, she is always doing something.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was funny at first, but now it's like, okay, what else does she have that she's like good at?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like him saying that this job that she currently has and their life is not enough for her was a low blow for sure
Mhm.
because she can always be wanting more. So can he. Like, I guarantee you, if he got a job to go work in, you know, Texas, like, he would want to do that and he would want her to go with him, no questions asked. So, like, why isn't the
Yeah.
same, like, reversed? It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. But
Mhm.
I don't know. They're gonna work it out because like it's John Nolan. Like he's not getting divorced. So so next we have Wopez, which was the second highlight of the episode for
I
sure.
would say at least they have their shit together.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I mean we had like the really cute moment in the beginning of the episode, like with Chenford and the whole carpooling and stuff. But we
Mhm.
had a really cute moment with Wopez at home too. So it's campaign announcement day for Wesley, and Angela's struggling with what she's going to wear. She's like, I know it's going to garner national attention, the LADA, race and everything. And he's worried about his speech because it's terrible. And so Angela goes on, and all she can think about is her, like, what she's going to wear. She's like, it's easier for men to get dressed than women. And, she's like, I'll just have Harper go shopping with me during my lunch break. I'm sad that we never saw that.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Could
I'm
you
like,
imagine like the montage we could have had? That
yes,
would have been fun.
of Nyla just standing outside, like trying to hype her up, and Angela's like, nope, that won't work. That won't work. That won't work.
Yeah.
Um, and so then we later in the episode we see James is reading over Wesley's speech. Love that they're hanging out. Love that, James is helping Wesley.
Mhm.
And he's like, it's not good. You're trying to please everyone. And he even mentions that AI wrote it. He's like, it seems like AI wrote this. And Wesley suggests James taking a pass at it. And James is initially flattered. He's like, I'm honored. But wouldn't the campaign manager like want the campaign manager wouldn't want a super progressive activist leader writing his speech. And so
Mhm.
Wesley's like, how about just a few paragraphs as jumping off point? Think of it as a ghostwriter, especially for the social justice section, which I understand because like writing a big speech can be like daunting like that. But I'm also like, Wesley, this is your platform. Like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have someone else be writing it for you, but just a few bullet points. I mean, as like a jumping off point. Okay, and then he can like maybe tailor it. So James is like, those are some famous last words, and I'm not gonna hold back. And Wesley's like, perfect, don't. Um, so we see Wesley at the station, and I love how Angela was like, why is he here? Like it was
Yeah.
like the first episode when Greg was like, yeah, take Wesley on the stakeout, and Angela's like, why? He's literally no help with it. She just like doesn't hold back. And so Angela reads the speech and tells him that he can't say that. And so when James pulls up to get Lila, Angela turns around and is like, Wesley needs to speak to you, and then just runs off. Um, yeah, so I loved all the Harpez and then like Wesley and James moments that we got. So we go to the press conference for the announcement, and his speech sounds good. Angela looks great. She's looking so proud. James and Nyla are standing off to the side supporting their besties, and everything turned out fine. So yeah, that's a win for them. The promo though for next week, like we said, does not look good for them.
Mhm.
So that'll be interesting, but yeah. So then last but not least, we have James and Nyla slash Lila. So this was another storyline where I was like, I'm glad that we had it because it was very important, but I feel like it could have had more like more of a standing point or like more of a I don't know, something in a different episode. Like it was just
Mhm.
too much.
Yeah,
Um,
it was another one where I didn't expect it to go where it did. I thought
yeah,
it was literally just going to be like, oh, she somehow overcomes her fear of, you know,
yeah,
talking
yeah.
in school, and but it turned out to be something else. So,
Yeah. And there was an article about we're gonna see Nyla's girls again.
mhm.
Both of them. And the headline just read like the youngest daughter, like
Mhm.
Makia's real daughter. And then in the article it had mentioned Lila too. And I didn't realize that it would be this episode that we would see her again. I wonder if it'll
Yeah.
be multiple episodes, but
Mm.
so Nyla is driving Lila to school and she's giving Lila a pep talk about the presentation she has to make, and Lila just hates public speaking. I mean, yeah. Like I feel like when you're that age in middle school, like it's even more scary and you just don't like it because everyone's focusing on you. So,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I had to take it in high school, like as a requirement, and
yeah.
I didn't like it either. Um,
Yeah.
Although I eventually did get over my fear of public speaking. It's not my favorite thing, but
Yeah. Yeah.
got better.
Yeah. I know I had to do it in college and they recorded us like
Yeah, I also had to do it in college
presenting.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the teacher would like go through the recording, like the footage with us.
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she like would
Wow.
sit down with each one of us and go through it. And
Oh my
she was
gosh.
like, "Okay, so you're swaying a lot here or like you're moving around, like you can't move around like that." Yeah, it was I did not like it. And it was like an 8 a.m. class in college. I was like, "Why am I doing this to myself?" But it was
Yeah.
required, so
Yeah.
yeah. And I know we haven't seen Lila in a while, but like when did she grow up? Because she's like a whole teenager now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. But our friend M posted on her Instagram, Gotta Love the Rookie, and on Twitter, because ours is epic, a compilation of Nyla and Lila. And we haven't seen her since season 506. So I'm like, it's been 3 seasons since we've seen Lila. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so Nyla then gets a text from her mom at school congratulating her for having a certified kid influencer.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, how did the other mom know? But that's besides the point. So, Lila has a secret Clip Talk account that has 250,000 followers. Nyla's pissed. I mean, as she should be. And Angela mentions that she thought Lila was afraid of getting up in front of the class. And Nyla's like, yeah, I thought so too. Apparently not. So Nyla and Angela have to pick Lila up from middle school and put the fear of God into her, which, like, imagine those two like picking you up from somewhere. Like I would be so afraid. I would be
Yeah.
like, what am I gonna get? into on this car ride here.
Yep.
So on the ride back to the station, Nyla is reading Lila the riot act. Like she's taking all of her fun privileges, phone, TV, laptop, Kindle. She's like even the microwave, anything with the screen. And Nyla won't listen to Lila's argument. Lila's like, I finally found something that I'm good at and I don't want to throw it all away. Um, just because, she's talking to Nyla about it. She's like, I don't want to throw it all away because you've watched too much Dateline. And Nyla's like, no, I've lived enough Dateline to know what
Hmm.
happens.
Yeah.
She's not wrong though. Like she's had a lot of experience. She knows what can happen here. So Lila questions if Nyla's even watched her content, and Angela kind of flips the script, like Nyla did last week, and
Hmm.
is like, well, yeah, the tips are impressive. Like, I thought I was, wearing autumn color, or I thought I was in autumn, and turns out I'm not.
Yeah.
And we find out Donovan doesn't know about the account either. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Lila is sneaky. So Nyla and Angela pull into the station parking lot, and Angela again wonders why Wesley's there. And James is like, I'm here for a prisoner pickup. And I was like, okay, I understand the joke because like, Lila got in trouble and you're pulling into a police station parking lot, but also like I don't know. It was just kind of weird because I was like, she's in middle school and like she just got in trouble at school.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. It was not the like thing I was expecting
yeah,
him to say.
yeah. So then at the end of the episode, James and Nyla get home from Wesley's campaign announcement, talking all about it. And Lila's there with like headphones on and on some kind of device. I'm like, I thought she wasn't supposed to have any screens.
Oh, she was. I didn't catch that.
I
Thanks.
don't know what kind of device it was, but she had headphones on.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay. I thought she
I was gonna
wasn't
say it
supposed
couldn't
to.
be. It couldn't be an iPod. No one has those anymore.
No. No, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. But then I also remember being a teenager and a kid, and like when you got in trouble, you were like sneaking around trying to find your device, like gonna be on it, like when your parents weren't home, and then oh my God, they're home, like I need to go hide this back exactly where I found it. I don't know, but like Nyla didn't seem bothered by the fact that she was on it, so I was just kind of like, okay. So they end up talking, both apologizing. Nyla tells her that after they meet with the cybersecurity expert, Nyla can have her phone and Clip Talk account back, and like, they're just gonna have safety precautions. So it was good. I loved seeing Nyla like back with one of her daughters.
Mm.
I wonder if we'll ever get a scene with both of the girls together
Yeah.
because there is such like a big age gap.
Hmm.
Like I would love to see it. I mean, Lila was presumably babysitting for
Hmm.
them. So I was just kind of like, okay, can we have like both of them back? I don't know. Maybe even see James's voice. Who knows? But
Hmm.
yeah. So any other notes on this episode?
No, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I think I'll be interested to see what next week brings. But this one was good. I kind of wish we had like a little bit of a wrap up to like Aaron because we just kind of
Hmm.
saw the end of them all walking away out of the hospital and like that was that. Um,
That leads
but
me
that's
to believe
okay.
that we're gonna have him in another episode.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it'll leave it open ended, so that's fine with me.
Because also the Monica stuff at the end. I was like, oh, what is she up to now?
Oh
Can we
God, yeah,
not?
I forgot about that. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Monica's on the phone with God knows who,
I thought
saying
it was
how
Oscar for a minute. I was like, she's
the
talking to Oscar.
phone lines are now tapped by the feds, and so that
Mhm.
information's free, but then the next thing is gonna cost us like a fortune. And I'm like, who could she be talking to? Could it be Oscar? I don't know. I don't know if he's that sophisticated though. I like want to know about that
Yeah.
type of information.
The only other person I can think of is like that Kadir,
Hmm.
because we never
Yeah.
saw him again.
Hmm.
And we only had that one little bit about him. And like, why bring in Aaron if we're not going to see more of him,
Right.
of Kadir? So, but then like
Hmm.
Monica runs over the phone. So I don't know. I don't know what she's up to, but
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a lot of guest stars in this episode. It
Mhm.
was guest star heavy. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm with you though. I kind of wish we had a wrap up on Aaron, but that leads me to believe that he's gonna be in another episode or
Yep.
two. So yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think just it was a lot. It was a good episode. It was just a lot, like a lot to process. So with that, you can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod underscore or email us at Shop Talk the Rookie Podcast at gmail.com with all of your thoughts. You can find us individually on Twitter as well. I'm at jstark804.
And I'm at Carrie Hammond.
And we're on TikTok as well at the Shop Talk Podcast underscore. We have merch at shop-talk.dasher.com. So be sure to check that out. Make sure to follow us there too. We'll be back next week following 806 with a new episode on Wednesday. And might have a new merch design coming out this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll talk to everyone on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Go get him, boo.